Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to the plane crash that obviously happened in the US, I think around a week ago, which is mad to think because then another one happened like a few days after, which I've not even really looked into. I've seen, I think there was like 6 lives lost from it, and I've seen videos around it in terms of like people in like restaurants and like, did it hit a restaurant or something like that? I think something along those lines. This was the one that I initially saw, the passenger carrying one. I think the other one was carrying passengers as well, but I don't think it was a commercial flight. But yeah, obviously, I've not really I've been quite busy recently. I always say this, but I am genuinely like very busy at the moment and stuff, just with stuff going on. This whole thing could have been, from what I'm thinking, so easily avoided, or so easily avoidable. But we're gonna see, I guess, a timeline of what happened, how it could have been stopped, or reasons why it didn't go, or it did happen, and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, we're going to check this out. Obviously, it's a horrible event that I assume a lot of the families are, I mean, they will be absolutely devastated from, and I wonder how they're going to sort of fight this back in a sense. Will they be like lawsuits and stuff? I'm not sure. I guess it's all unfolding still, but we're going to check this out and see what this video shows me. And yeah, let's jump into this reaction.
How did an American Airlines plane and a
The maddest thing as well was it was so close to landing. It was probably like a minute from landing, not even that.
Black Hawk helicopter end up in a tragic crash while the plane was attempting to
That's
land
probably like 10 seconds from landing, realistically.
on runway 33. In the videos ahead, we'll take a closer look at the final hours leading up to the crash. The confusion between the PAT-25 VIP military helicopter and the air traffic controller, and how the rescue operation is being carried out. More details all in the video ahead. The plane had departed from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas earlier that evening. A PSA Airlines aircraft, operated under American Airlines and identified as Flight AA5342, collided midair with a military Black Hawk helicopter at approximately 9 p.m. on Wednesday, January 29, 2025. The tragic incident occurred as the plane was making its final approach toward Reagan Washington National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. American Airlines confirmed that 64 people were aboard the jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while 3 soldiers were aboard the military helicopter. This plane's radio transponder stopped transmitting about 2,400 feet, which is around 730 meters short of the runway, roughly over the middle of the river. This has marked the first major U.S. commercial crash in more than 15 years.
Jesus.
From an aerial perspective, it is evident that Flight AA5342 was approaching the airport from the south, descending over the scenic Potomac River. This area is known for its proximity to several iconic landmarks, such as the Pentagon, located nearby in Pentagon City. To the north, one can spot the striking dome of the United States Capitol building, a symbol of American democracy. The Potomac River, which encircles the airport and much of Arlington, serves as a natural boundary and offers breathtaking views for arriving flights. However, this area is also densely trafficked, both by air and on the ground, adding to the complexity of air traffic management in the region. American Airlines Flight 5342, which we'll refer to as the landing flight, was on its final approach to runway 33. At this stage, called short final, the aircraft was mere moments from landing, flying at an altitude of about 400 feet. This is the most critical phase of landing, where every second counts and pilots are laser focused on safely bringing the plane down. At the same time, an Army Black Hawk helicopter, identified as PAT-25, was reportedly on a possible training flight. It was flying perpendicular to the flight path of Flight 5342, following the course of the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a designated flight corridor for helicopters, and it's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between...
It is mad how it does fly so close to the airport, especially the landing area. Because maybe there's obviously like security reasons why, but flipping hell.
The 2 aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk helicopter, PAT-25, was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of its surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing flight 5342 was operating under instrument flight rules, which give it priority over VFR flights in controlled airspace. This system assumes that VFR aircraft will actively maintain visual separation to avoid conflicts. Moments before the collision, the air traffic control tower at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport called PAT-25 to confirm whether they had the other aircraft in sight. PAT-25 responded that they did. At first glance, this seems like an acknowledgement that they were aware of Flight 5342's presence and were taking steps to avoid it. However, it now seems likely that PAT-25 had mistakenly identified a different aircraft, possibly a departing flight from the same airport, and believed that was the other aircraft referred to by the tower.
Jesus.
Tragically, PAT-25 may not have realized that Flight 5342 was descending directly into its path. This misidentification could have led to the Black Hawk failing to adjust its course in time to avoid a collision. Although I'm not a pilot, this is what appears to have happened based on the available information. It's a heartbreaking incident that raises questions about how such misunderstandings can occur and what safety measures can prevent them in the future. If you have more insight or expertise, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. The passenger plane broke into multiple pieces and sank several feet into the river. Meanwhile, the helicopter ended up landing upside down on the water. Regarding the rescue mission, the main challenge is access. The water they're working in is about 8 feet deep, which is roughly 2.5 meters.
Oh, so it's not actually that deep at all. Jesus.
On top of that, the conditions are tough. There's strong wind, chunks of ice floating around, which obstructs rescue workers.
Cold then.
We also have audio from air traffic control that has been published online, capturing the moments as the two
I think I've heard this, haven't I?
aircraft approach each other. In the recording, we can hear a conversation. It appears to involve the air traffic controller, with P standing for priority air transport, the helicopter, and CRJ referring to the passenger plane. The response seems to come from the helicopter, but something goes terribly wrong. The two aircraft continue to move closer to each other until they crash, and there was no response from the other side. This long-shot video, recorded by the Kennedy Center cam, seems to show two aircraft, a helicopter and a commercial airliner colliding, creating a huge flash.
Imagine being the people in this plane as well. You probably, I wonder if you hear it or you see it. You must have, right? I mean, maybe not, but that's got to shit you up.
If you take a close-up shot, you can clearly see the Black Hawk helicopter traveling at an alarmingly high speed directly towards the plane, a moment of impending danger captured in stark detail. According to reports, the situation unfolded due to apparent confusion on the part of the
even scarier thing is, this could have been even worse if this landed on like a building or like a busy street, because obviously if this happened, let's just say 500 meters beforehand, maybe it's a busy area around there. Imagine the damage then. It would have been even more.
Black Hawk pilot. He was seemingly unaware of the presence of a second aircraft in the vicinity, which ultimately led to a critical misjudgment. When the flight controller radioed in, asking if the pilot had identified Flight 5342, the pilot confidently confirmed that he had visual contact. However, the plane he was referring to wasn't Flight 5342. It was a completely different aircraft flying above his position.
Fuck's sake.
This misidentification proved costly. The pilot, certain he was operating safely, continued his course. Tragically, he ended up flying directly into the path of an oncoming aircraft. The sequence of events highlights the immense complexity and risks of aviation, where even small communication errors or lapses in situational awareness can lead to dangerous, life-threatening outcomes. Let's take a look at a different case scenario of a Jeju Air Flight 2216. This South Korean airline was granted permission to land from the south on runway 1 northward. But control tower cautions against bird activity, so the aircraft made a slight deviation in flight path. The pilot declares Mayday after it hit a couple of birds, and it was instructed to make a go-around and land on runway 19 southward. It was at this moment the airplane encountered another problem with the landing gear, which did not open. Finally, the plane had to make a belly landing with what was supposedly a landing gear failure because it hit in the middle of the runway and crashed into the elevated local laser antenna and concrete, erupting into a huge fireball, while the tail section remained intact.
Holy shit, that's horrifying.
Morning 8:57. A TC broadcasts a cautionary advisory about bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. 8:59. The pilot of Flight 7.
Is this just going through different plane?
Port's air traffic control tower.
Oh yeah, it's just going through different events, I guess. Okay, well, that's not really relevant. Right, this is the other one, right? I've not seen this. I'm gonna just see this as well, I guess, to get an understanding on what this one was about, because I've not really seen. I've just heard. I heard about it, and it's mad how they're so close to each other, right? But
The
yeah,
Learjet
we're gonna see.
55, a twin-engine business jet, departed from Northeast Philadelphia Airport on a routine flight to Springfield Branson National Airport in Missouri, according to the FAA. The aircraft, known for its speed and efficiency, was designed to operate in various weather conditions. Takeoff occurred at approximately 6:07 p.m., but shortly after becoming airborne, the jet encountered a technical issue. Weather conditions at the time included light rain and fog, reducing visibility to about 5 to 7 miles. From the top angle, we can see the experienced pilot made a hard descending left-hand turn with no correctional input. This shows the pilot was likely confused or disoriented once entering the cloud and rain. While modern jets are built to handle adverse weather, unforeseen mechanical failures or environmental factors can still pose significant risks. Tragically, just moments into the flight, the aircraft lost control and
So it crashed pretty much as soon as it took off.
crashed near Roosevelt Mall, creating a huge explosion of smoke. The aircraft in question was a Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, a medical flight operated by a specialized air ambulance company.
Oh god.
This particular Learjet 55 registered as XA, UCI, and owned by the company. The aircraft was on a critical medical transport mission, highlighting the vital roles such flights play in emergency healthcare. According to the company, there were 6 people on board at the time of the crash: 4 crew members and 2 passengers, a child patient and their attending caregiver.
Oh damn.
These air ambulances are typically equipped with advanced medical equipment and staffed by trained professionals to ensure critical patients receive continuous care while in transit. In this video, you can see the plane dropping fast, almost like a missile, before crashing and erupting
Holy shit, that's a plane? Bro.
into a massive fireball. The explosion was so intense because the jet was fueled up for a long flight to Mexico. With full tanks, the impact causing much bigger fireball than usual. If you take a closer look, the plane appears to be nose down, falling at high speed, almost like a bullet. And with all that fuel on board, the explosion was even more devastating than expected.
Fuck? Jeez, that's fucked.
Interestingly, in the past 2 months, there have been multiple major plane crashes. On January 28, 2025, an $85 million F-35 jet crashed in Alaska. The following day, on January 29, an American Airlines plane collided with a Black Hawk helicopter.
Yeah.
Then, on January 31, 2025, a medical plane went down for unknown reasons. In addition to these recent incidents, South Korea experienced a plane crash on December 29, 2024, when an aircraft struck an antenna. Just days earlier, on December 25, 2024, an Azerbaijani plane was hit by a Russian Panzer missile.
Jesus.
All of these tragic events occurred within 45 days, so let's study these plane crashes further. Another round of questions. Why did the F-35
Oh, it's just now going into the other ones. Okay, well, they briefly told me what happened. This is just doing stuff that's not even related to it now. That was mad though. God damn. Scary stuff, man, honestly. I used to be really scared of flying. I'm not as scared now, but this sort of stuff does honestly like put it into perspective. Like it's your chances are there, man. This is why flying cars is an absolute nonsense. Just imagine the chaos. Yeah. That's facts. A military helicopter should be nowhere near a civilian airline. That's what I'm saying. Why is it going to cross the path? Honestly, just dumb. Flipping hell, but who am I to say that? I mean, I don't know the reasons, but still. Absolutely crazy. And then this over here says, why this DC helicopter route has worried pilots for years. Flipping out, man. My head hurts, bro. Those poor people, man. Honestly, those absolute poor people. It's so sad to see, but fuck me, man. It's happened, and I guess we're gonna have to see what the response is, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Until next time.